which ran from 2004 to 2008, was a Canadian teen music drama about a 15-year-old girl named Jude Harrison who wins a singing competition and gets a record deal. The show's plot lines and characters were entertaining, and the music was amazing. Songs like Let Me Fall and 24 Hours are classics. But there was one huge problem with Instant Star, and that was that the entire premise of the show was marketed on a teen network as this glamorized idea of a teenage girl and her adult record producer falling in love with each other. However, a more correct premise of Instant Star is that a 15-year-old girl is groomed by her 22-year-old predatory record producer. Grooming is when an adult builds a relationship, trust, and emotional connection with a child or young person so that they can manipulate, exploit, or abuse them. Instant Star was problematic and totally inappropriate, especially considering the fact that the show's target audience was teenage girls. Another clear indicator that this show is problematic is that by all accounts, this show, based solely on its premise, could never be made in today's era of the Me Too and Time's Up movements. Instant Star feverishly tries to present Jude as being mature for her age. This false sense of maturity is perpetrated throughout the series, even though Jude's character proves time and time again that she isn't any more mature than the average 15-year-old. And even if Jude had have been mature for her age, that would not justify a 22-year-old man lusting after her. Tommy Quincy, a former boy bander, is presented as being this hot older guy, a tabloid magnate, and a bad boy. The audience of impressionable teenage girls is duped into rooting for this romantic relationship between Tommy and Jude, even though there is nothing romantic about the grooming of teenage girls. Some people would call Tommy Quincy a pedophile, but that term would actually be incorrect, because a pedophile is someone with an attraction to prepubescent children. The correct term for Tommy would actually be ephebophilia. Ephebophilia is the primary sexual interest in mid to late adolescence, generally aged 15 to 19, which is necessary to understand because Tommy Quincy also goes after Jude's barely legal sister Sadie during the first season as well. Though Sadie is still in high school, she was at least 18. I feel like every single adult that was behind creating this show should be ashamed of themselves. I'm pretty sure that it was the people behind Degrassi that helped to create Instant Star, which is even more problematic because that means that they knew exactly what they were doing but didn't care because they thought that Instant Star was a more edgier, more mature alternative to the standard high school drama at the time. I will never understand why Jude couldn't have just been 18 or why Tommy couldn't have been someone younger. Anyways, I found the entire Instant Star series on YouTube and decided to rewatch the first season. I watched every episode over again for the first time in years. Here is an episode-by-episode breakdown of everything wrong with Instant Star. And FYI, Jude does go from a redhead to a blonde throughout the show's run. 15-year-old Jude is teamed up with 22-year-old writer-producer Tommy Quincy. Tommy is a former member of the 90s boy band Boys Attack. He, of course, was the heartthrob. Tommy has a bad reputation and is in and out of the tabloids. However, because he's grown into a fantastic songwriter, the record label, G Major, sees Tommy as the perfect mentor for Jude. Once Tommy hears Jude's song that won her the contest, 24 Hours, he is not impressed with it. He is confused about all the "we" talk in the song. He asks who is the "we" that she is talking about throughout her song. Jude points out to her best friend Jamie, who is in the studio as well. Tommy says that the audience won't care about Jamie and that the song needs to be rewritten and made more personal. It's important to note that Jamie is a boy and that it appears this early on that Tommy Quincy is jealous of Jamie's friendship with Jude. He's probably threatened by the fact that Jamie and Jude are the same age. Tommy shows up to Jude's school and whisks her away in his Viper to a private area by the lake so that they can work on changing the lyrics to her song. Jude states in this scene that she's 15 and Tommy states that he's 22. As Tommy helps Jude to strum her guitar, a paparazzi shows up and takes flirty pictures of the two. Jude's friend Kat says that she and Tommy look cute together in the paparazzi photos that end up in the magazine. Jude excitedly responds, "Do you think so?" Jude obviously has a crush on Tommy at this point, but claims that she can't like Tommy because he's from a 90s boy band. Jude does not see Tommy as a serious music artist, and she is a serious artist. But Jude can't deny her admiration for Tommy and says that she thinks that they shared a moment at the lake. Meanwhile, Jamie admits to having a crush on Jude, but Jude isn't interested in him, and she's decided that she's going to change the song like Tommy wanted. Jamie and Jude get into a fight over the fact that she's agreed to change the lyrics to the song. Tommy notices Jude crying and tells her that if she ever needs to talk about anything, that he is there for her. Jude misinterprets his niceness and kisses him. Tommy does not pull back. He says, "Jude, you're 15. Jude reprimands herself, asking how could she ever like a guy like Tommy, and that he is everything that she hates about music. They argue about him making her change her song, but Tommy tells her the song is better since they worked on it. At Jude's performance of the newly written 24 Hours, Tommy finds Jamie in the audience and says, "You couldn't stay away, could you?" Jamie and Tommy end up arguing as Jamie tries to defend that he's known Jude forever, since she first started doing music. But Tommy argues that Jude is on to a much bigger musical journey. Tommy congratulates Jude on how good she performed the new version of 24 Hours, and to his shock and surprise, Jude quits. Tommy shows up to Jude's house thinking that Jude is still embarrassed about having kissed him. Tommy says, "Jude, if I led you on." Jude stops him, saying, "Let's just skip this," as in the conversation, and he agrees. Tommy then says that working on a song is like falling in love. At first it's a rush, then it gets painful. Sometimes you gotta walk away, but sometimes you come out with something beautiful. Tommy tells Jude that change is good and hands her a CD from her performance of the new version of 24 Hours. Tommy tells Jude that she's the real thing, she's even better. He then tells her to be at the studio the next day. They are back to making music together. Jude gets a huge opportunity to be on the cover of Solid magazine, which she says is the Rolling Stone of the new millennium, and that landing a Solid magazine cover means that you've arrived. The only problem is that they want her to dress provocatively for the cover. Jude argues that she does not want to show her stomach, but her record label and everyone around her makes her do it anyway, praising her on how fantastic she looks in the clothes that are making her uncomfortable. Jude abruptly loses the Solid magazine cover. She finds out that Darius, the owner of G Major, her record label, also owns Solid magazine and thinks that she's too immature to be on the cover. Tommy calls Jude and asks her to go to one of Darius's parties so that she can prove that she is mature. Jude jokes with Tommy, asking him if this party is going to be like a date for the two of them, which Tommy does not bother to correct. Darius and Tommy have some sort of beef, and Tommy believes that this is the real reason that Darius isn't putting Jude on the cover anymore. Darius tells Tommy that Jude is too young, and Tommy argues that she's not too young, to which Darius replies, "I heard that from you before." What's that about? Tommy convinces Darius to listen to Jude's new song, "Let Me Fall," to prove how mature of an artist that Jude actually is. He says, Jude is not a kid, not when it comes to music. Jude ends up getting the cover of Solid magazine after making a good impression on Darius's younger sister, who also happens to be Tommy's ex-wife. The episode ends with Jude on the cover of Solid in the same outfit that she said made her feel uncomfortable in the beginning of the episode. Jude is upset that her new song, "I'm in Love with My Guitar," is labeled as lame, and that students plan to walk out when she performs it at her school. Tommy goes to find Jude, who is hiding out in the girls' bathroom. He goes into the girls' bathroom to try to comfort her. Jude goes to her parents' country house for the weekend with Tommy to write a hot new song. Her parents send Jude's BFFs with them because they're worried about her being alone with Tommy. The only problem is that her friends take a separate car and get lost en route to the country house, so Jude and Tommy end up there all alone. Jude and Tommy write a love song called "It Could Be You." This could be the most inappropriate song that Tommy and Jude write together in the entire series, with lyrics like, "You and me all alone. It's too late to say we didn't know. We shouldn't be all alone. One of us might lose control. All these feelings we've been hiding, deep down, they must start to show. Sadie ends up showing up. Sadie is Jude's sister. Jude is jealous because she thinks that Tommy is interested in Sadie and vice versa. Tommy starts to show interest in Sadie. I think he only liked Sadie because she was 18, though it should be mentioned that Sadie was still in high school. Sadie and Jude get into a huge fight over Tommy, and Tommy admits that he knows that both girls like him. Once Tommy is alone with Sadie, the two share a kiss, which Jude sees. This leaves Jude heartbroken. Tommy admits to Jude that despite the love triangle drama at the country house, he really likes making music with her. Jude asks Tommy if he really likes Sadie. Tommy tells Jude that they should just get to work. A teen rapper named Shay asks Jude out on a date while at the studio. Tommy tells Shay no, not even giving Jude an opportunity to answer for herself. And then Tommy tells Jude that it's late and makes her go home. Shay comes to Jude's school and sweeps her off of her feet by taking her on a movie date and renting out the entire movie theater for the two of them. Georgia, the woman version of Darius at the record label, thinks that Tommy does not want Shay and Jude dating because then Tommy won't have Jude's total attention. It's interesting that people are aware of his fixation on Jude but don't find it startling at all. Tommy questions Jude about her date with Shay. Tommy says that he does not think that Jude should date Shay because he's a player. Jude storms out of the studio upset. Jude and Shay are shooting a music video together, and it's going to end with a big kiss between them. Jude is nervous about the kiss because it's going to be her first one ever. Tommy tells Jude not to worry about her first kiss being with Shay because if she does not feel it in her heart, then it does not have to count. It's almost like he doesn't want it to count. Jude and Shay are officially dating, and Tommy is super jealous. Tommy jealously asks his co-producer, Quest, what could Jude possibly see in Shay? Jude invites Shay over for dinner to meet her family. Tommy, of course, crashes. Jude's parents and Tommy drink wine, and Shay shades Tommy by saying that he forgets how old Tommy is sometimes because he and Jude can't drink wine because obviously they're too young. This could only mean that Shay is also aware of Tommy's crush on Jude, which is why he threw the shade at him. So now, multiple people are aware of Tommy's crush on Jude. Shay accompanies Jude to her school dance, where they dance to her new love song, Your Eyes. Shay says that the song is beautiful, and Jude tells Shay that she wrote the song about him. Sadie and Tommy go on an unofficial date to a karaoke place. Sadie tells Tommy that she is 18 when it seems like he's pulling back. Tommy says that he knows that she's 18 and that her age is not the problem. He says that things with him and Jude are complicated, and if he and Sadie hook up, then that could mess everything up. This episode is perhaps the most problematic of them all, and probably the most iconic of them all. Jude turns sweet 16. Tommy asks Jude what she wants for her birthday. She tells him that all she wants is for him and Shay to get along. Tommy reluctantly agrees. Jude hugs and kisses Tommy on the cheek after blowing out the candle on a cake that he got her for her birthday. Jude writes a love song called Time to Be Your Only One. She says that she wants to sing it for Shay at her birthday party. Tommy gives Jude a private driving lesson in his Viper, something that a teenager would love. Jude confesses that she misses hanging out with Tommy and he says that he misses hanging out with her too. Jude kisses Tommy on the cheek. Quest says that he can see Tommy is falling for Jude and that he wouldn't be the first producer to cross that line. Quest says that he wouldn't blame Tommy if he hit that in another few years. Tommy says, "You think I'm okay with this? That the coolest chick I know, the girl who gets me the most is 16? Give me a break, man. She's out of bounds and I'm not that guy." Quest says, "Good, but if she were 21? And Tommy says, "In a split second." Jude, of course, hears everything. This conversation is very creepy for two grown men to be having, especially about a teenage girl that one of them is working with. Anyways, Jude is super excited that Tommy likes her too, but she still likes Shay more. Jude comes out at her birthday party in her birthday dress, and Tommy stares at her like she is the most beautiful thing that he's ever seen. Quest has to tell Tommy to pick his jaw up. Shay arrives to Jude's party and breaks up with her for someone else, which breaks Jude's heart. Tommy and Shay fight over the fact that Shay broke Jude's heart. Jude runs outside and cries in the rain. Tommy joins her. He puts his coat around her. Tommy says that Shay is a kid and an idiot and that he made the wrong choice. Jude says she's tired of falling for guys like Shay and Tommy who don't fall back in love with her. Jude asks Tommy what she does wrong and why she's so easy to give up. Tommy dramatically declares that Jude is asking the wrong guy before leaning in and passionately kissing her. A really old guy comes out with his young girlfriend before turning back around upon seeing Jude and Tommy. This scene is a little obvious. This show knows exactly what it's doing with the whole Tommy-Jude thing. Tommy tells Jude that she should go while he remains out in the rain. Jude performs Time to Be Your Only One with new lyrics. The song is now called Time to Be Your 21 in reference to Tommy, saying that if Jude were 21, then he would date her. Flashbacks of Tommy and Jude play. Jude is once again in love with Tommy. Jude becomes emotional, thinking that Tommy only kissed her out of pity. Tommy says that he either has to quit working with Jude or they have to agree that the kiss never happened. Jude agrees to the kiss never happening before running off and crying. The fact that Tommy is now making her keep secrets about his inappropriate behavior towards her is very problematic. Jude is still heartbroken about Shay, but she's also pissed at Tommy about kissing her and then making her act like it never happened. G Major makes Jude and Tommy write a breakup song together to get back at Shay, but Jude is obviously still mad at Tommy too. Jude asks Tommy if he thinks that Shay is the only person that she's mad at. Tommy says, "Don't start." Jude says, "I didn't. Remember, you kissed me." Tommy says that the kiss between them never happened and that it didn't mean anything. Jude says that the kiss did happen and that it did mean something to her. Tommy argues that that wasn't the deal. Jude says that she can't even be around Tommy and decides to write the breakup song by herself, storming out of the studio. Tommy apologizes to Jude at her house by saying, "I'm sorry," but he's insincere. Jude finds out that her dad is having an affair on her mother. She is now heartbroken over Shay, Tommy, and her dad. Jude performs this intense new song called Skin on live television that's about being hurt by a guy. Everyone thinks that the song is about Shay, and the fans in studio love it. Tommy thinks that the song she wrote is about him, and he tries apologizing to Jude again, but she says that not everything is about him before slamming the door right in his face. She's written a song about her father's infidelity and its emotional impact on her. Episodes 10 and 11 are fairly unproblematic. Tommy tells Jude that he needs a break from G Major and he does not know if he will produce her next album. Jude tells Tommy that he can't get rid of her that easily before gazing into his eyes. She is in love with him and vice versa. Jude kisses Tommy in the cheek when he decides to produce her next album, After All. Jude acknowledges that she fell in love twice and got her heart broken twice by both Shay and Tommy. Tommy is thinking about dating Sadie, but is still hung up on Jude. Jude tells Sadie that she and Tommy kissed at her birthday, and Sadie is upset because she's also had a thing with Tommy this whole time. Sadie and Jude find out that they've both had a thing with Tommy. Jude tells Tommy to make up his mind about who he wants to be with, her or Sadie. Tommy apologizes to Sadie. Jude's friend Jamie kisses her, and Jude kisses him back. She decides that she likes Jamie after all, presumably because Tommy is showing interest in other girls, most notably her sister. And so, throughout the series run, Jude and Tommy have this on-again, off-again romance until they finally make things official once Jude turns 18. Instant Star was originally supposed to have a 5-season run, but the show ended after only 4 seasons, even though the show was popular. It allegedly ended because funding for the show was pulled. I think that funding was pulled because people started to realize how problematic the show actually was. Ever since the show dropped the entire series on YouTube, fans have gone over to Twitter to say their feelings about the show and how they didn't realize how problematic it was. Just take a look at these tweets. So much problematic drama. But on a different note, let's not even talk about how Kat, who was supposed to be Jude's best girlfriend, was totally useless throughout this series. The show didn't even try with her character. Throughout season 1, all Kat got to do was pine over geek-ass Jamie, wasn't even thinking about her because he was so busy pining over Jude. Jude ends up taking Jamie from Kat, even though she has plenty of other suitors to choose from. It felt like Kat was only there because they needed a black character, but never actually planned to do a damn thing with her. They eventually get rid of Kat's character altogether just 5 episodes into season 2. Surprise, surprise. But that is a whole other video. What do you think? Was Instant Star entirely problematic? Let me know what you think in the comments below.